This lack of interest in responsibility is important because it translates directly across in terms of investigation into and action against interference. And we saw that when we looked into allegations that Russia sought to influence voters in the 2016 referendum on the UK's membership of the European Union. Studies have pointed to the preponderance of pro-Brexit or anti-EU stories on RT and Sputnik and the use of bots and trolls. The actual impact of such attempts on the result itself, by which I mean did the disinformation actually change how people voted, would be difficult, if not impossible, to prove. There has, however, been speculation that this report was going to reveal either that Russia had interfered in or sought to influence the referendum. In the committee's view, it's worse than that. The report reveals that no one in government knew if Russia interfered in or sought to influence the referendum because they did not want to know. The UK government have actively avoided looking for evidence that Russia interfered. We were told that they hadn't seen any evidence, but that is meaningless if they hadn't looked for it. The committee found it astonishing that no one in government had sought beforehand to protect the referendum from such attempts or investigated afterwards what attempts to influence it there may have been. The government, the UK government, should have recognised the threat back in 2014 in relation to the Scottish referendum, but it didn't. It didn't understand the threat until after the hack and leak operation against the Democratic National Committee in the United States. And because it was too slow to recognise the threat, it didn't take action to protect the UK in 2016. One would have thought that once the existence of that threat had been understood, seeing what had happened in the US, that someone here would have wanted to understand the extent and nature of the threat to the UK, and we wanted to see the post-referendum assessment. But there isn't one. There has been no assessment of Russian interference in the EU referendum, and this goes back to nobody wanting to touch this issue with a 10-foot pole. This is in stark contrast to the US response to reports of interference in the 2016 presidential elections. No matter how politically awkward or potentially embarrassing, there should have been an assessment of Russian interference in the EU referendum, and there must now be one. And the public must be told the results of that assessment. We heard last week the government disclosed details of attempts to influence the 2019 election. And there was considerable suspicion about the timing of that announcement and whether it was designed to draw the sting from this report. I cannot see anything that would draw the sting from this report. I will say that it's good that work now appears to be being done to investigate attempts to interfere in the UK's democratic process, although the new committee, will reserve judgment as it has yet to receive the underlying intelligence.